One of the essence of Lafite is all about precision. It's all about excellence, and it's about pioneering and striving to be the best. And so in this way, we feel like there's a really good match between Lafite and also golfers, because of course golfers are always striving to be the best. Precision, of course, it's so important when you're taking that shot or you're making that very, very important putt. So we tend to find there's a real synergy between the pursuit of golf and winemaking excellence. Well, sometimes when we think of Chateau Lafite Rothschild and Domaine Baron de Rothschild Lafite, we think of this incredible global brand, a brand which is one of the most famous brands, if not the most famous brand in the world of wine, a brand that's available in over 80 countries around the world. But we still need to realize that Lafite is a family business. And of course, here in Vietnam, we like to work with families as well. And in the case of Tien Lin, we know that Madame Hung has been having a great relationship and friendship with Tom and Bin for many, many years. And we like to work with those type of close relationships and reward loyalty and work together very much in that way. Well, really, the story of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, goes back many, many years. But if I start around just over 150 years ago, Baron James de Rothschild, he purchased Chateau Lafite. And at this point, it became Chateau Lafite Rothschild. And also around that time, there was something known as the 1855 classification. And this was a league table of some of the finest wines in the world. And around that time, going all the way back to 1855, Chateau Lafite or Chateau Lafite Rothschild was considered in the top 5 of the chateau. And actually in that list of the top 5 chateau, Lafite was at the top. Yes. So in this way, Chateau Lafite Rothschild is known as the first of the first growths. Almost the best of the best, if you like. But over time, the family have looked to expand their business, like many businesses do over the world. And what they look for is they look for areas of what they call exceptional terroir. So really areas around the world where they have amazing conditions, fantastic conditions to grow grapes. And then once they know that they've got the fantastic grapes, they use the Rothschild savoir-faire, as they call it, or skills or technical ability to then make great wines. So the first example of this was back in 1988 when the Rothschild family went to Chile and they purchased a group of vineyards known as Los Vascos. So we were one of the pioneers. We were one of the first families to start making wine in Chile. And now we see today in 2020, Chile, of course, is the #1 selling wine in Vietnam. Yes. But we were one of the first to start this trend. And then we've continued that trend on. In the south of France, we've purchased vineyards in the Languedoc, known as Osier. And recently in Argentina, we started a very famous collaboration with a family known as the Catena family. And we have some beautiful wines that are being made in Argentina also. And finally, just to complete the set, the family wanted to make Bordeaux wines more accessible. Fantastic wines that you could also drink on an everyday basis. And so for this reason, they introduced the legend range of Bordeaux wines from the Lafite Rothschild family. And in this way, we're able to offer just that hint of Lafite on an everyday basis. A couple of things. One of the first things I would note is, have you ever seen an angry cigar smoker? No, you haven't, because the whole process of smoking a cigar is very relaxed and calming and sociable. And it's a similar thing with wine, because when one consumes wine, it's a very, very sociable, relaxed, sophisticated type of environment. It's not like when you're drinking beer or when you're drinking vodka or whiskey, which I would describe as a high energy occasion where we're trying to consume as much as possible. It's all about being more relaxed and enjoying people's company, and it's a very sociable. In France, they have a word, convivial. So part of it is the behavior and the occasion and how you feel when you're drinking wine. But also there are, for sure, some health properties in wine. As an example, there's a property called resveratrol that is existent in red wine, which has been proven to be very good for your heart. So in this way, drinking wine can be considered to be very good for the health. But don't forget that it's always about balance and moderation. So okay, wine is good for you, but I will drink 2 bottles of wine every day. No, too much. 2 glasses, 3 glasses of wine a day. Yes, very good. Well, what we plan to do in Vietnam over the coming years is primarily we plan to work more and more with our exclusive partners, Thiên Linh and Chevalier. Because the more we work with all of the personnel, all of the fantastic team from Thiên Linh, we are creating more and more brand ambassadors for our fantastic wines. And we're then finding that all of those people from Thiên Linh are going and talking to 10 people, and they're converting them and they're telling them all about the fantastic wines as well. And before we know it, we have many, many people who are all huge fans of DBL Lafite wines, huge fans of Los Vascos and Ossier and Legend and so on. So we plan to continue to work as closely as we can around that. And then it's about how can we make the brands more available. So to begin with, we want to do more and more fun and engaging wine events and wine dinners, such as what we're about to have today, where we can introduce the wines in a really enjoyable environment, where the wines are also being very nicely paired with beautiful Vietnamese food. And then finally, we would like to drive our distribution more, so we have even more very, very nice, very, very comfortable wine shops that people are going to be able to come and enjoy the wine in. For example, the Chevalier in Ho Chi Minh City, and I believe there'll be more of these, of these lovely wine shops opened in future. So it's easier for people to be able to buy these wonderful wines.